Coverage of the 97th National FFA Convention and Expo is presented by the College of Agricultural Sciences and Natural Resources at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln and the Nebraska FFA Foundation.
We're at the 97th National FFA Convention and Expo, and I'm pleased to be joined now with Stacey Agnew. She is the Executive Director of the Nebraska FFA Foundation. Stacey, FFA Convention has now grown. 70,000 students attend this event in Indianapolis. It's been a long way since the days in Kansas City when I'm sure you attended.
Yeah, as in the late 90s. No, let me back. In the late 90s, I was an ag teacher.
Yep.
And I did take students to Kansas City. So when I was an FFA member, we were obviously in Kansas City. And then Louisville, I was able to take students there for a couple of years. So yeah, I'm excited to walk around and check out everything, attend an opening session today, and the energy's awesome.
Yes.
It's really exciting.
A lot of energy in the air, and this year in particular, FFA celebrating 1 million members nationwide. That's a trend you and I often talk about with the Nebraska FFA continuing to grow, and seems like more and more interest in agricultural education, correct?
It is. Right now, this year, there are 4 new programs. We're at 218 FFA chapters in Nebraska. Membership is getting really close to 12,000. I think back to when I was a teacher, and it was probably closer to 5,000. So really exciting that more young people can learn more about ag jobs and ag experiences and careers in ag.
Okay, well, let's talk about logistics for a second of getting Nebraska FFA members to Indianapolis, Indiana. Kind of 2 choices. Some people get on a bus, travel as a chapter with a group there.
Right.
And I actually flew down with the Valentine FFA chapter. They did a flight. So kind of 2 different ways. But what I'm getting at is it does cost a little bit to come to National FFA Convention. And I was curious, as somebody who deals with fundraising, how chapters kind of go about this process of getting to convention.
You know, when we talk about chapter budgets and we talk about experiences that we want young people to have outside of their local FFA chapter, that obviously costs money to hotel rooms, food, and transportation. And so it's important for viewers to understand that these experiences are really critical for FFA members to have. And it does cost money, and that's not typically things that we will fund on the FFA Foundation level. So it does require local support, families, potentially writing that check to the local FFA chapter for their child to attend leadership conferences or conventions like this. So yes, I mean, it can get really expensive. If you can just even imagine if your own family I'm thinking my family of 5, I mean, it's several thousand, $5,000 just to go on a vacation. So imagine if you're taking 8 to 10 students, right? And adults and chaperones, it does add up.
But of course, the next task here in Indianapolis is keeping track of all those students as they experience FFA. Lots of fun, though. Let's talk about the work of the Nebraska FFA Foundation. Busy time for you and your staff right now. The I Believe in the Future of Ag campaign is underway. What's that all about?
Oh, we love the I Believe in the Future of Ag campaign. So it's very unique where a local or anyone can give to support a local Nebraska FFA chapter through the Nebraska FFA Foundation. And then we have $30,000 in matching funds. So that donation, 100% goes back to the chapter and then some matching dollars on top of that. Obviously, when we talk about funding chapters to have events like these, the I Believe is a great way for a local individual to support that local FFA chapter by writing a donation to the Nebraska FFA Foundation. There's close to $300,000 to $400,000 that is raised every year to support local chapters. And so we just think that we would encourage people, if they want to give to support Nebraska FFA chapters, to go to our website, check it out, and help get kids to places like National Convention. They're really, it can change their life.
Absolutely. Hear that all the time with state FFA officers. Many of the national officers will cite those experiences. Let's also mention this. I had a chance to share this on one of our ag newscasts recently. The Golden Owl Awards. Those are now open, accepting nominations. I think through about the first of the year, correct?
It closes at the very end of the year, December 31st. So if you go to our website, we have a link right there for the Golden Owl Award. We honor Nebraska FFA advisors, but they're nominated. They can be nominated by anyone, students, parents, community members, administration. We honor 6 FFA advisors during state convention. They each receive a $500 cash award. And then the Ag Teachers Association selects the overall Golden Owl Award winner, and that Ag teacher receives a $3,000 cash award. It's from the foundation, but it's sponsored by Nationwide. And so I got to tell you, last year we had 90 teachers that were nominated.
Wow.
And there's close to 250 FFA advisors in Nebraska. So there are more people that can be nominated. So I just really think it's important that we lift up these hardworking teachers and individuals with the work that they do. Oh my gosh, giving our children just an amazing experience with FFA.
Okay, let's round out our conversation with this. Behind us, a lot of blue and gold corduroy jackets. They made the trip, got all pressed and ready to be in the big spotlight. But those FFA jackets are an important piece of the Nebraska FFA Foundation. You all working locally to make sure students get a jacket, one they can call their own.
We did. We just finished our Blue Jacket Bright Future selection process. There were a little over 200 FFA members that received a jacket from us. So there is something pretty special, you know this, Bryce. When you either are wearing the hand-me-down jacket that's from the FFA chapter closet of all the jackets, and it may or may not have a name or somebody else's name, there's something about having your own FFA jacket with your name on. And as you see students walking around here, there is something that just, you get a little more pep in your step, and when you have your own jacket. And so we feel very blessed to be able to help a little over 200 students in Nebraska have their own jacket.
That's awesome. I'm sure there's some really neat reactions to getting those blue jackets in the mail as well. Stacey Agnew with the Nebraska FFA Foundation been our guest. Also to mention, they are one of our sponsors making this convention coverage possible. So Stacey, thank you very much for joining us as we try to bring some of these stories back to the Cornhusker State.